Right, it's time for some crochet. I've done all sorts of different things. I've been all over the place, it feels like, on the last sort of week, but I'm slowly getting back to normal. And this is one of the things I've made. I've recently started reading an awful lot of books, which is great. I used to, but then I got a Kindle and it all became very digital and lots of reading. And then I got gifted a book and I read it and I'm like, you know, I quite like this. You'll have seen that I actually did the, let me get it right, blind date with a book review a while ago, and that again got me into reading a book rather than the e-reader, which I'm really enjoying. There is nothing more special than a real paper book. It is amazing. So I'm waving this around. Yes, there is a book in there, but what I'm going to be doing as far as the crochet is concerned is a book cover. Now I'll show the book is in here. Ta-da! There is a book in there, and what I'm going to be doing this in 2 videos. Now the first one is going to be doing the square that I have used for this. It could be done in any squares. If you don't want to sort of do a fancy pattern, you could do it in just a granny square, but I thought this worked out quite pretty. I was pleased with the colours. I haven't actually finished it yet. You can see the end there. I do need to pop some beads, and I'm going to make a little tassel out of the yarn for that, but I'm not worried about that for this video because, as I've mentioned, we're just doing the square for this one. But then in my next video, we're going to be putting it together. Now, it seems simple. It's just 4 squares. We put them together. But it's not quite as simple if you get them in the wrong place. And then you'll be very frustrated and it'll spoil it. So you may have already done this, but I'm going to go through the actual construction. And also I did add a little bit extra around here, so to make sort of this flap sort of fit really nice and really pretty, really sort of enveloped over. Now this one's for me. I'm going to be making another one, and I've also got another design in mind. I want to do more of what, I don't know what you would call it, more of an envelope. That's an envelope, isn't it? What would I call it? I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see when I do it, and then we can work that one out. But yeah, I want to do a couple of other different type of book covers, and also I'm wanting to do some bookmarks, things like that. So I'm looking forward to doing some little giftier things that people could make, because Christmas is coming fast. I know it's only June, but Christmas is still coming fast. So nice gift ideas, aren't they? So if you do enjoy the channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And I will see you all very soon. Top down. We're just making the square today, don't remember. So this is part 1. There'll be part 2 to follow of putting it together. So let's get some crochet done. So here we are with the actual book cover, and as you can see I've got some squares here, so we'll have a look at this first. Anyway, I haven't 100% finished it, as I said. I have actually managed to put some beads on the end, which I think looks quite nice, so we fold that in, and I've got one of my octopudding buttons here which I'm going to be stitching on there. So I'm quite pleased with that. I'm really pleased how it's come out. So I'll just pop my button so I don't lose it. Basically we have the long cord, which you can make as long or as short as you want, and inside is the book. Now I'm going to take this out, and so you can actually see it properly. Yep, so it's just like a little envelope, so you can see the back as well. But as I mentioned, we're going to actually do the actual crocheting together and the finishing off of the edge, because I did add on around here just to sort of make it sit so it's a proper fold over, so it's not just like one of the granny squares. It's only basically a couple of extra rows, so it's nothing complicated. And again, decoration entirely up to you how you do that. You don't even need the string. You could pop a big button on if you wanted to, or you could just do a clip and then maybe put some sort of logo on. Entirely up to you how you decorate it. So that is how it's going with that. Now as you can see, I worked in different colours on this, so I was constantly each round changing my colour. But what I decided to do with the video was actually use a variegated yarn, so there's no changes. Now with this, then you have lots of ends to sew in. Every time you change a colour, there's ends, unless you can sometimes weave them in when you get to these parts. But apart from that, you've got a lot of ends to sew in. Whereas if we work with a variegated yarn, we're still getting lots of different colours, but there's only 2 pieces to sew in, which are these pieces. Now this is the yarn I picked. These need a little bit of a stretch. If you're wanting to block them, that is a good idea. I do find when you're doing something like this, it's not the end of the world, because when you crochet it together anyway and then you put a book in it and things like that, it will actually sort of flatten itself out. But if you do prefer to block them, it's not a bad idea, because sometimes they do look a little bit curly when you've got them to that stage. This is just the book I'm reading at the moment. I read all sorts of books. I can't even remember where I got this one from, but it's sort of quite a nice fun, saying fun. I don't even know what's happening yet. There's a mystery in there and I've not worked the mystery out. But it is great. I like how it sort of swaps from sort of time zones and things like that. So I'm enjoying that. As it says, it's a clever mystery. Somebody put there, and I loved every word, and I am enjoying it, but I've still not got to the mystery. We know there's a mystery, but we don't know what it is yet. But anyway, that's the book I'm reading. So we're going to use that one to actually sort of work out a little bit of measurements. In fact, I will show you that first. I do need to sew my ends in on this one. But for example, if you take your square and it fits like that. Now, I was worried at first thinking, well, it's not going to be wide enough. And then it's not going to fit there. And I'm like, they're squares, but this is a rectangle. How's that going to happen? It works. Believe you me, it was sort of trial and error when I first did it. And there were times I was thinking, there's just no way this is going to sit. But, for example, if it's wool, it stretches. So by the time you've actually crocheted it together, it fits beautifully. So don't worry too much about that. Thing is, again, though, this is an acrylic yarn, so it's got lots of stretch. If you do it in a cotton, which would be lovely for definition, you might need to add on an extra round, because cotton doesn't give much give. And again, it depends on the size of your book. This is just a bog standard size paperback book, so that is why I chose this one. So let's get going with the pattern. Like I said, the variegations are coming out quite nicely, aren't they? It's a little bit paler than the other one, but I do think it is really pretty. It's all the colours I like. So we'll move that over there as well. Obviously, we've got scissors, stitch marker, things like that. And as I mentioned in a recent video, I did a Temu video saying were the craft products any good or not. Now, this is a normal crochet hook I would use, and this is one of the ones I got from Temu. And I'm like, it might be rubbish, might not, because it does make a difference. Some cheap crochet hooks are awful. They don't go into the work, and it's not this bit. It's this point here to me that I find matters when I am working. So you do need a decent point, and you also need a decent sort of positioning on hook. So that's not bad for a Temu one. I might actually get some more because I think these are really pretty, that's all. So I'm going to use that one to show you that it does work. Also, don't forget, UK terms will make a huge difference on this, because as you can guess here, there are a lot of trebles. English UK trebles. I was going to say English, but it's UK, isn't it? And we have double crochets, again UK crochet terms. So don't forget, I will try and put a little conversion in, because just as an example, our UK double crochet is actually a single crochet in the US. So watch for that, please, because I know sometimes people have sort of said to me, oh no, that's the wrong stitch, or you know, they've made it and then gone, oh, it doesn't fit, because it will make a difference. So you do need to keep an eye out for that. Right, here's the yarn. We're going to get going. It is quite quick. As you can see, I've got 3 already done here. We're only making 1 today. You need 4 for this. And then, as I say, I'm going to do a separate video on how to actually crochet it together. You might be able to do that. You might not need the second video. I was just going to show how I did it, that's all. Because if you get the squares in the wrong position, you'll end up with a funny shape. I know I had to sit and think about it, so I thought, well, I'll share that with you as well. So we have a slip knot onto the hook. We're going to start with 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're going to join that chain by slipping into the first chain in a slip stitch and pull it through. There we go. Now that makes a little hole in the middle, so make sure you get in the right bit where the hole is. Try not to go in that bit that's above. It's this bit here, so check you know where you're going before you do the next bit. We're going to do 3 chain. Now that counts as our first treble. We're then going to do 3 more chain, which just counts as 3 chain, and then into the hole here we're going to do a treble. So it's yarn round into the hole, pull it through, we pull it through 2, and we pull it through 2. So you can see what we're getting there. Now there's going to be 3 chain between each treble that we are doing, so we need 3 chain, 1 treble, so yarn round into the space and pull it through twice, 3 chain into the hole and a treble, 3 chain, treble into the hole, 3 chain and treble into the hole. You can see we're getting sort of like a cartwheel sort of effect. You can see sort of this central point here, which is what we're doing now. Well, we need 8 of these, so let's double check. So I'm talking now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've only got 6, so I'll shuffle them around. So I want 3 chain and treble into the space. That was number 7, wasn't it? I want 3 chain. I'll take a bit more of this yarn out, and my last treble into the space. And then we need to get across here, but so we need to make sure we do our 3 chain there, 1, 2, 3, and then a slip stitch join into the top of that first 3 chain we created. So you can see we've got this little cartwheel. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So that is perfect. If you want to tighten that middle bit up, you can a little bit. And so this yarn doesn't want to come out. It looks like it's going to be predominantly white now. I've got loads and loads of white. It's a thing with variegated, isn't it? 1 minute it's one colour and then it's the other. Right, so because we're using a variegated, I'm just going to slip stitch into the next position. If you were using another colour yarn now, you would fasten off, start with a new yarn. Or you can just sort of slip your new yarn into that, whichever way you change your colours. But we need to be into one of these spaces. So I'm going to slip stitch into it because I'm not changing my yarn. So I'm in position. I'm going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Now that counts as my first treble. I then want, let's have a look at this. Can you see there are 4 trebles? So we're doing these now. Yeah. So we have 4 trebles into each of these spaces, but there is some chain between, so don't just rush off and do the 4 trebles. So that counts as a treble. So we need 3 more into that space. 1, 2 and 3. That's my first set, but I need 3 chain in between. So 1, 2, 3, otherwise our square won't start to become a square. Into the next space with 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you can see what we're getting there. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So the next one is 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next space, 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3. I think my wall's around a pen. 4, because I've got some other bits and bobs on my table. Oh, it's getting caught in that tin. I'll move that tin out of the way. That'll be the easiest way. You can see what we've got here. Right, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Into the next chain space, 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Next space, 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We've only got 2 more to go, so we've got 4 trebles. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and our last set of 4 trebles. So I've got 1, 2, 3 and 4, but don't forget we need 3 chain before you can slip stitch. So 1, 2 and 3, then slip stitch like before into the top of the 3 chain that you did right at the very beginning. So we've slip stitch joined. Now again, I'm not changing yarn, so that means we need to do slip stitches. If you're changing yarn and you are fastening off, for example, you wouldn't need to think about doing slip stitches. You could just go into whichever position you want to start in. But I now need to be into this space here. So if we have a look on here, we've done this middle bit, we've just done our second round. We are now doing our third round, which is here. Now if you look here, we actually have 6. There's 6 in here. So, and we've also got some corners developing, so we need to watch for that. But for me to get into here, which is my start position, means I've got to slip stitch 1, 2 and 3 and then slip stitch into that one. Yeah, it looks neat enough. You won't be able to see it, so don't worry about that. It doesn't make it too heavy or anything. So we've got 1, 2, watch that split, the yarn split a little bit there, let's get it, 3. So we're slip stitching into the top of 3 of those trebles. Then we're going to slip stitch into this space. So we're in position now, ready to do the combination for this round. So 3 chain like before counts as our first treble, and then we need 6 trebles into that space, so that counts as 1. So we've only got 5 more in this one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so that is our 6, because remember that chain does count as 1. We are now just going to do 1 chain and jump into this next space and do 6 trebles. 1, 2, oh, we've got a bit of a colour change, 3, 4, 5 and 6. All right, so that sort of counts as our sides. Our next one, I need to start creating a corner. So instead of 1 chain, I'm doing 4 chain, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, then jump into the next one with our 6 trebles. 1, 2, 3, a bit of fluff there, where's that come from? 3, what have I got? Did I say 3? Yeah, I did 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now this time just 1 chain, then into the next one 6 trebles. We'll go over this again when we get to the end of this round. I hope the light's not too bad. It seems to be all right looking at the camera, but it keeps fluctuating outside, and I've got curtains open. 1 minute it's bright, next minute there's a cloud come over, so I'm hoping it's not going to affect this too much. That's 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now because that was a 1, and you see what we're going to do in here, the next one's got to be a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 into the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that was a 4 last time, so it's got to be a 1 this time, and then the 6. So it's alternating those chains in between. 1 point it's a 1, 1 point it's a 4, which we'll have a proper look at, as I say, when we finish this round. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now last time it was a 1, so this time it's a 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 6 into the next one. I mean, into each 3 chain space it's 6 trebles always. It's just alternating between 1 chain between them or 4 chain between them. What we got there? 3, 4, 5 and 6. Oh, or not. There we go. That's our 6th. And again, that was a 4, so this time it's just a 1 chain into the next space with our 6 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I've just lost my wool on the floor. 5 and 6. Right, so this is the very last one. So that was a 1, so we do need 4 here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And again, slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain that you started the round with, and don't split the yarn like I've just done. I'm going to undo that. If it gets like that and it's really awkward, the split, just undo it. It's only 1 stitch, isn't it? Make sure you've got the whole of it, and you'll know that by the way it runs. So back into the top without splitting it this time. And da-da. So don't worry, you can see it's going curly. You're thinking, oh god, that's never going to fit, it's never going to sit flat. It will, don't worry about it, because this is the first time we've created corners. So now where the 4s are our corners. So can you see? So we have 4 corners, and then we have 4 points where there was just 1 chain between. So that will map out. That's why I'm saying you might want to sort of block it if you wish, but it doesn't have to be blocked. I mean, that's quite pretty as it is. I have actually considered using part of this pattern to make a cardigan. I know my daughter's just done a granny square cardigan, which is gorgeous, but I didn't want just a granny square. Fancied something where I could use a nice variegated yarn, so that might actually work quite nice, sort of do join them at the points. But anyway, that's not what we're doing. We have now got round with these 6, so we've gone round here, so we're almost there, to be honest. Now the next bit's a bit of a weird one because it's predominantly chain, but in these corners are not going to be chain, but everywhere else will be. I'll show you. So we're here. We now need to start with 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Now we have 6 here. Now I want you to go between the 3 one side, 3 the other. We're going to go between, and we're going to do a double crochet. Yeah, then we're going to do 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. This time we're just going into a space. Then 1, 2 and 3. Next time in the middle with 3 each side. There we go. Then 1, 2, 3. Now I mentioned we've got a corner now, so in this corner we're going to have 2 trebles. 1, 2. Going to have 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to have 2 trebles, 1 and 2. Okay, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We have the 6 now, so we need to divide that 6 up, a 3 and a 3, and we're going to do a double crochet in the middle. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. Let me move that up a bit. I'm moving down on the camera. Right, and then into just a space, just 1 treble, 1 treble, 1 double crochet. What's up with me? Right, 1, 2, 3, split the 6 in the middle, double crochet. Then 1, 2, 3. We have a corner, so remember the corner is 2 trebles, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, and 2 trebles. 1 and 2, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. We're splitting a 6 next. In we go. 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3. The next one's just a whole space. Then 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. We're splitting the 6. 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. We're almost round. Can you see how it's starting to square off a little bit now? We have a corner, so if it's a corner, we have 2 trebles, 3 chain, 2 trebles, 3 chain, split the 6, double crochet, 3 chain, into the space, double crochet, 1, 2 and 3 again, split the 6, 3 chain, 1, 2 and 3, corner. So if it's a corner, we have 2 trebles, 3 chain, 2 trebles, 1 and 2. We need 3 chain. This is our last 3 chain, and now can you see where the first one was? We now need to slip stitch join into the base of that one where it started. Okay, so we now have, let's have a look, even more of a square because our corners are now becoming more defined. So next, what we need to do, we need to start sort of honing in on it. We have some double crochets coming in. It just solidifies it a little bit more by using double crochets. So we're going to do 1 double crochet, well, not 1 double crochet, we're going to do 3 double crochets into every time you get a chain space, but you also need to do a double crochet where the original double crochet from the last round was. So I'm going to do 1 chain. That looks like it's split again, doesn't it? It doesn't like to join, does it? That's the problem. Every time I slip stitch join, it's playing up. Come on, out you come. Some yarns do, some yarns don't. So back into that slip stitch at the top there. Make sure I don't split it. There, I've done it this time. So I'm going to start with 1 chain, and then into the first 3 chain space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, into the double crochet itself, 1 double crochet, into the space, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. We have a double crochet into a double crochet next, and then we have 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3. Right, well, we're up to our first corner. Now we need to do a double crochet in the top of each treble, plus 3 in the corner, plus 2 in the top of the 2 trebles. It is basically a double crochet into every single area, but where it's a chain space, because it's 3 chain space, we do 3 double crochets. So there we go, into the top of these next 2 stitches. Then we have a chain space, so it's 3, 1, 2 and 3, into the top of these 2 trebles. Then we have a chain space, so that means 3, 1, 2 and 3. Double crochet next into a double crochet, 3 double crochets into the 3 chain space, into the double crochet, into the 3 chain space. I mean, don't forget that double crochet, don't keep jumping into the 3 chain spaces, otherwise you're going to sort of make the work curl up a little bit. So that was 1, 2 and 3, double crochet into a double crochet, 3 into a 3 chain space. We're back to a corner again, so remember 1 into each of the trebles. So we've got 1 and 2, and then we have our 3 chain space, that means 3 of them. We have 1 into each treble and back into a 3 chain space again, 1, 2, 3, into the double crochet, 3 chain space, 1, 2 and 3, double crochet, 3 chain, 1, 2, not do 3 chain but into a 3 chain, into the 3 chain again, 1, 2, a random little bit of purple there, 3, to the top of each treble, 1 and 2, into the treble chain space. We've got a pretty green coming on now, 2 and 3, 1 double crochet in the top of each treble and into the chain space again. I think we're about 3/4 of the way around, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 1 in the double crochet, then 1, 2 and 3, 1 into the double crochet, then we have 1, 2, 3, we have our corner, so 1 in the top of each of the trebles, 3 into the corner, 1, 2 and 3 into the both of the trebles, 1 and 2. I think that was the last corner it was. This is where we started, so 3 into the 3 chain space, and then you can see where your first stitch is. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. Right, so now you can see we have more of a square. Again, it's still a bit curly, but don't worry about that. Our next round is actually, might not be so noticeable on this because it's a variegated yarn, but this next round is actually a half treble round. Now it will be 1 half treble into each stitch until you get to the corners, which in the corner I will explain when we get there. Now because it's a half treble, I'm going to start with just 2 chains. It's slightly shorter than a treble, and then into each space. A half treble is you pull it through like a treble, but you know you got all 3 on there, just pull it through all 3. Okay, so it's still yarn round, it's still into the space, pull it through, 3 on the hook, but pull it through all 3. Don't drop it off the hook like I just did. So we're going to just do that in each stitch until we get to the corner, and then I need to tell you slightly different. It's not much different, but there's a little bit, because if we don't expand those corners, it will definitely curl up into like a little basket, so you've got to be careful. So this is just 1 half treble. Oh, I like the green now, it's sitting on that. I don't think I've got one that's done the half trebles in green, so it'll be a nice mixture. We're nearly at the corner, and I'll try and explain what I mean when we get there. Right, so can you remember on the last round, you know, in this chain space here, you did 3 trebles, yeah? I think I've actually just gone into one of them, but in the middle one of those 3, we're going to do half treble, yeah, 2 chain, and back into the same one, half treble. It creates, can you see a little corner there, and that's what we want. And then we're going to carry on just 1 half treble. Oh, I got a random little bit of purple again. It's weird how it keeps doing that. I do like it though. I think it's a very nice variegated yarn. And it's just 1 half treble again, as I say, all the way around apart from the corners. And the corners are 1 half treble, 2 chain, 1 half treble, all into the center of the 3 double crochets from the previous round. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Just don't worry about it too much. Just do your half trebles until we get to the corner, and then I'll go through it again. So we're almost at that corner now. Sometimes a little bit hard to see where the corners are. So I can see I have the 3 stitches. I've gone into the first one, so there's 2 more there. So this middle one, oh, is not going to go in. There we are. It's going to be a half treble, 1, 2 chain, back in the same stitch with another half treble. Okay, so that's our 2 corners done. We've got 2 more to go, but can you see the difference this side to this? It's definitely starting to flatten off nicely now. So off we go again with half trebles, just 1 half treble. I mean, you could do trebles if you wanted to make it a bit bigger, or depending on what your tension's like, because that's the other thing. I'm okay going, this is the size you want, but if your tension is, oh, what's that about? Can you see that funny little bit of yarn? I'm not sure. I don't know whether I dare cut it though, because it's a bit, it's not a knot. It's not on anything really, it's just like a piece of yarn. Right, I'm going to cut it. I've risked cutting that because this is only really, I mean, if I have to do another one afterwards to finish the book cover, it doesn't matter. But for demonstration, otherwise it's going to take ages. It has split the wool a little bit, but we'll just carry on and I'll sort it out afterwards. Ideally, say if I was making this for myself or for somebody else, I would have probably undone that a little bit, undone the yarn a bit until I got to a point where I could just cut off the bad bit. But for demonstration, I'm not going to sort of mess about with confusing that. So we just one half treble again into every single one. They're quite quick squares. I'm just having a look at the time now. On the clock on my phone, it's actually saying we've been doing this video about 30 minutes, but I think I was talking a good 5 minutes at the beginning. So really, it's about 25 minutes at the moment. So I reckon when you get used to the square, probably anything between half an hour to an hour, depending on sort of your speed and whether you have to stop and start and things like that. Right, we're back to that corner again. So it's a half treble, 2 chain, half treble into the same stitch. So it just creates that little loop. Because if you don't, it'll start rounding it back off again. I've only got one more corner to do. And then, to be honest, after I show you the next bit, we could probably say we've done with the demonstration, and I'll just describe what is happening. Getting bits of fluff. I've been doing a doll unboxing, and it has got this sort of blonde and pink hair, and I keep getting bits of hair everywhere. Of course, if you don't collect dolls, you won't get it. But there's always sort of some shedding when you take them out or when you first brush them. They are very cute though. Right, we're almost at our last corner. Right, the next one is the corner. So yarn round in, 2 chain, back in the same space, and then we've just got a couple more half trebles to get back to the beginning. Oh, we're now turning into a pretty blue. And just one more, and then like before, we slip stitch into the top of the 2 chain. It is this time, not a 3 chain. And we're round. So let's have a little look. So you can see we have the square coming. Now I'm not really going to do much more with you, because all that is left is 2 double crochet rounds, which you can see. Now the double crochet rounds really do tighten it up, so it makes it nice and solid, because when we come to crocheting the 2 pieces together, a double crochet is a nicer way of doing it. So it's sort of like we'll go edge to edge like that. It just makes it a little bit firmer, but as I say, we'll deal with that in the next video. Now what I'm going to say to you here is I'll start it off, but I'm going to do 1 chain, and then again, reminder, double crochet, UK double crochets, just 1 double crochet. I'm just going to go to the corner to show you the corner in every single stitch. It's amazing how much it will firm your work up by doing these 2 double crochet rounds. Almost at the corner. Now don't forget, the corner had the 2 chaining, didn't it? But, well, yeah, the 2 chain space. So we're at it now. You can see where that little hole is. But I'm not going to do 3 chain or 2 chain. I'm actually going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. Yeah, does that make sense? It only makes a tiny hole, but when we do the next round, you've got to remember there's 1 chain there, and that is what you go into. So we've done a little corner again there, and then we would carry on with just 1 double crochet into each of the half trebles. So let me just go part way. I keep saying that. I'll just do that bit and then I'll leave. Right, I'm going to stop there. So you can see how that is now firming it up nicely, and we have this corner. So that's 1 round. We're going to do 1 more round, but when we get to these corners, as I've just mentioned, don't forget there is a 1 chain space there. and when you get to that 1 chain space, you'll do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, 1 double crochet. So I don't know whether you'll be able to see it very well in the corner, because when it's a double crochet it's a really tight stitch, so just watch for it. If you missed it, your corners might slightly round. It's not the end of the world, it really isn't. You could carry on working on it, but as you can see, they do go a bit curly. If I sort of scrunch it up, it's a bit curly, but I say up to you. Block if you want, but I found that when I actually started to crochet together, it didn't matter whether I'd blocked or not. So I will finish that separate. Otherwise, I have my 4 squares now, and it's just going to be a case of, when I do the next video, positioning it all out. It's sort of like that, but it is and it isn't. It's really weird. I really didn't think, because I'm thinking, oh, it's a square, it's not going to fit, but it does. Now, where have I just put my original one? Oh, it's over here. So I'm going to move that out of the way, back to this one, and we're going to pop our book back in. Now, your book might be a slightly different size. If you were doing it as a gift, say if you knew the book the person wants and you bought the book as a gift, you can work it to fit. And again, don't forget, the stretch does happen. So that is what we want to end up with, and that is what we will end up with. And I'll just sort of tie that around there. So that holds it in place, and obviously I need to sew my button on. This is ready for me because I've got some surgery at the end of, I don't even think what month I'm in the end of July. I'm having my ankle operated on from the one I broke like 18 months ago. So I'm going to be in a pot and things for a while, so I'll catch up on some reading and things like that, but I'm going to be taking one of these to the hospital, because you know what it's like waiting for things, so I do need a book with me. So that's it for today. That is our square. If you want to fancy following along with me, get your 4 squares done, and then on the next video we'll look, which is going to be hopefully next week. Well, it will be next week, so we need to get it done, don't we? I'm going to be doing the crocheting up together. So I'd recommend, if you're going to do the crocheting up with me, get all these ends sewn in as well, which is my next job, and then we'll just have 4 neat squares to start our work. So thank you for watching that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're going to have a go with this. I do have, I think I mentioned before, other ideas for book covers, because I really just like the idea of it. I just know, I just like it. So I want to make some more for myself as well. And again, I'm thinking gifts. I'm not going to say who for, but I'm thinking gifts as well. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe and share if you enjoy the videos, and I'll see you all very soon. I'll see you next week with the rest of this. Bye bye for now.